We good? There's a fire in my bones. Fire. There's a fire in my bones. I came up from Chattahoochee with my Bible in my hand. Hip flask full of whiskey, my blood hot as burning sand. People say I'm crazy, but I don't care what they say. It's the same ones I feel bad for every minute of the day.
In 1956, but about a year prior to that, there was a group of fellows got together in a restaurant, and they called themselves the Roadrunners Car Club. And they never had a club. So they were just, what would you call it? Just a wannabe club?
Right.
Yeah, you know, it was a social thing. And then we got involved with them, and we said, well, we're going to do something about it. From that particular point, there was John Lazat, president of the club, started. I was the secretary-treasurer, and Lauren Domingue, and I think 3 or 4 other fellows that we hung around with,
Okay.
along with the ones that were in the restaurant. And then, of course, they kind of fell by the wayside. And then from that particular point, we decided within 2 months of getting together that we were going to, we had to have a shop somewhere. You know? And I had a set of acetylene torches, and somebody had a compressor, and somebody had, you know. So we went out to the Guelph line on the way to York and Guelph line on the way to Dundas. And there was an old barn there, and we'd fit about 5 cars in there. And not only that, just to keep some money rolling, what we used to do is we used to take trucks in and spray paint trucks with a little, almost a hand, compressor type thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we made some money that way. By that time, the club was about 10, 12 members. And then we outlived the club. Then we moved on to Park Street in Hamilton. And Park Street, we were at 162 Park, which was, on the back end was an old horse livery stable.
Was there still horses in it?
Pardon?
There's still horses in it?
No,
Okay.
at that time. They had it cleaned out, but you can imagine the, with the posts and everything else for the stalls and everything. So we could get 3, 4, 5 cars in there.
Okay.
So we worked on 5 cars. And then we had the upstairs for a meeting room. And at that time we were probably 15, 18 members. First of all, you couldn't join the club unless you were ready to customize a car or work on a car. And it had to be a hot rod or a custom car. And from there on, then, how we were going to use the garage and how much you were going to pay for a spot in the garage.
How much was a spot?
I think the spots were $5 a month.
Okay.
Okay.
And you could use all the tools you wanted?
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, I think we were charging, I think it was $12 a month as a member. And then when we moved to Park Street, which we had 10-car garage,
Right.
then we start to have all kinds of members wanting to join. So what we did is we couldn't handle all the people coming in, so we were charging $100. You're talking back in '62.
Right.
It was a lot of money.
That was just to join, like
That was
initiation
just
fee?
Initiation fee, yeah, and we had to stop it because we just didn't have the room in the
Right.
garage. And then we were in there about 3 years, and that was torn down to make way for the convention center in Hamilton, unfortunately, because it was a 3-story building and we had our meeting room upstairs.
Wow.
So then after that, we didn't have any place, so we met in the Craighurst Community Center down on Barton Street.
Okay.
for 1 year, and after that, they went to Mary Street, and at that time I left. I was building a home, and I didn't have. We were one of the club members that were running the ATAO.
Okay.
You know, we had some pretty big names coming in, like Don Gartlitz, and you know,
Yeah.
the club members all worked, you know, as volunteers. Well, I was on the board of the ATAO,
Okay. Yeah.
so I was on the board for 3 years.
Okay. And who was all on the board with you? Do you remember those guys?
Well, there's Bob Young and Howlett, and there was a couple of boys from the Brantford Piston Pushers also. It was a very tight-knit group of hot rodders, the late 50s, early 60s, so, you know, those people, there wasn't that many car clubs around, but we had,
Bunch of stuff.
we were the ones that, being an old airfield, the airfield was going east to west,
Yeah.
and then we found that it wasn't very safe, so the Timing Association, we all decided that we were going to have it repaved, and then we did it north-south. I was in the club around 10 years.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. Very, you know,
Yeah.
as you can see some of the pictures in there, we had Christmas
Yeah.
parties. And